of you are familiar with this term, with this word? Kashrut. Kashrut, from which you derive the term which is most frequently used, kosher. Alright? So, this particular term, I'm going to look at that. In the Hebrew language, you'll find it written this way. Okay? Kaf, Shin, Resh, and Kasher. All you have to do is simply add the vowel point of the O, and you have the term kosher. Alright? Same thing. Now, this comes from number 3, 7, 8, 7 in your Strong. Now, what this word means is to be straight or right, to be acceptable. Okay? Now, the parent root of the term kasher or kosher, your shin and your resh. Alright? Now, of course, the shin, which we took a look at before, this is your 2 front teeth. Okay, 2 front teeth. And of course, the rest, which we had on the board earlier, put that up there again, head of man. Okay, now, that being said, one of the things that we learned, or one of the aspects of the 2 front teeth, the fact that it has 2. Whenever you have 2, that simply implies a separation. Because you have to have one is the primary number where everything stems from. So in order for 1 to become 2, that means that it has to be divided now, or separated. Okay? When you think about the 2 front teeth, which are your incisors, what it does, the purpose is to bite into the food, to cut and separate the meat from the bone, so to speak. Okay? So it's used to be separated, or mean separated. Again, the head of man, also pointing to topmost. So here we have the definition of kasher, or the parent root, I should say, of the shin and the resh, simply meaning distinguished as best. In other words, that which is acceptable for us. That's why they use this particular word to pretty much label all of the clean meats. Okay? So, that being said, we want to turn now in your Bibles to Leviticus chapter 11. Now, the way that we're going to do this lesson, for the sake of everybody who's watching, with the encouragement that you search these things out, okay? We're going to look at it from the perspective of what man has discovered pertaining to the animals, okay? Now, some of the terms, although they may be considered big words, I'm going to write each word out, spell it out, with the hopes that those of you who are interested in learning what we can and what we can't eat will go and search these things out for your own so that you have a better understanding of it. Okay? And that you, from this point forth, not consume meats that were not created for human consumption. Okay? Now you have many people out there who think that the Creator has no dealing with mankind. It doesn't care or is not concerned about what we eat. Not so. If it was the case, He would not have given us the dietary system. So, Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1. And one more thing, one more point. You have some people out there, when it comes to the dietary law, several arguments come about. I'm not going to get into all of these arguments, but one of which, well, back during that time, they didn't have refrigeration. Back during that time, they didn't know how to prepare certain foods or clean certain foods. Whatever argument any person gives to you, as a Bible believer to support eating whatever it is that you want to eat, the Creator, when He gave these laws, He tells us why we're not supposed to eat certain things. There are certain characteristics of the animals that He gives. So, for example, when we get down to the swine, that pork, that pig that everybody loves so much, He tells us characteristics to look for. The pig, the reason why we're not supposed to eat that has nothing to do with refrigeration, preparation, cleaning. It has to do with the characteristics that it doesn't have, which we'll see. So, Leviticus 11 and verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and Aharon, saying unto them, Speak unto the sons of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat. Listen to that. Now, this message is also going out to those of you who are vegetarian or vegan. That's perfectly fine if you choose to eat that way. We're going to see something later on pertaining to that line of thinking. But the Bible, which was inspired by the Creator of the heavens and the earth, has designated particular beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Now, for me personally, that's enough to tell me that eating meats are fine. They're okay. So long as you eat them in accord with His word. Okay? So, in verse 3, the first instruction that He gives to us, whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed. Now, how you determine that, and again I'm going to put the scientific name, that is RTO dactyla. Okay? What that simply means that it's cloven-footed. Splits the hoof. Alright? And cheweth the cud. Okay. So, that word ruminant, it means to chew the cud. And what is chewing the cud? Chewing the cud simply refers to the digestive tract of particular animals. They have compartments where there's a part of the stomach, or the stomach called the rumen, and food that is stored in that area is able to regurgitate it, in other words, brought back up and chewed and then digested. Okay? Now think about that, There are particular animals that He said we're supposed to eat pertaining to these characteristics. Another term I'm going to put up here, because many of those animals fall in this current, or this classification, I should say, bovidae. Okay? Search these terms out again, and if they fall under these classes in particular, together, not having one and not having the other, but they have to have both of these. Okay? And this particular species here, the bovidae, they have both of these, and they are permitted to be eaten. Now, in Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 4 through 6, it reads, These are the beasts which ye shall eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pygarg, and the wild ox, and the camois, and every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft into two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Now in Deuteronomy, it gives us specific animals which you find they actually are classified by these names scientifically. Whereas in Leviticus, He's just given us, the description of what we're looking for. Now, we go back to Leviticus chapter 4. It states, Nevertheless, these shall you not eat. So now He's going to give us what we shouldn't eat. Let me get this off the board.